Dental Fuel, the podcast that focuses on what no one else is talking about: mistakes. The dental world is full of before and afters, and no one is talking about the middle. Dental Fuel brings you the unspoken in between. We are excited to have Jonathan Miller. We have learned so much from Jonathan in these last few episodes. If you want to continue to learn more from him, make sure that you check out the Ignite DDS Dental Business Masterminds course that's starting this month. In this last episode, Jonathan shares some final mistakes and advice that he has for all dentists. I know that you wrote some thoughts down before our conversation today. Are there any other mistakes that you would really like to share with our listeners that are key for them?
Well, one of the biggest ones is not delegating. And I think this goes back to the team that you build. Whether you're building a startup, from scratch, kind of a project team, and or going down that practice to purchase team is unique because you, of course, have due diligence people and things like that, but then you're also going to inherit a team. You're going to get a team that comes with the practice. You're going to get the front office people and the back office people, and so the assistants and the hygienists, and you might get some people that were family members of the old owner, and you're going to get the patients. And so with that comes, there's not a lot of training on this, but you got to be able to delegate. And I'm speaking from my own experience. I'm one of those that, grew up in the Midwest. My dad was in the military. It's very much like, if you want something done right, do it yourself kind of a thing, And so with that being said, it was, in some cases, I've even taken it on as like this, oh, that's what good leaders do, you know what I mean? But not really. When you really kind of look at what do good leaders do, they delegate and they promote and they put people in the right places. They put them in the right seats on the right path. And so that's been hard for me. And as I watch dentists who really want to grow and accelerate, the number one thing I've learned is that you can't do it without the team of people in the practice. You can't grow this thing unless the people around you are growing as well. And so you've got to be able to delegate and even let people swing and miss. Let them take a step off the edge and go, oh, that water's cold, or, oh, I need to do it without the floaties or the training wheels or whatever analogy you want to use. It's really important that you delegate and then put them in a position to succeed, not fail. But even if they do, it wasn't that big of a deal because we trained you, we put you in the right spot. There's a little bit of guardrails on it. And so even if you make a mistake, you're probably going to learn better anyway. And it wasn't catastrophic. I didn't put you in a totally, scenario where, oh yeah, if you swing and miss, this whole thing goes, that's it. We'll close the doors. We tell everybody to go home. We don't want to do that. But it's okay to let people kind of have a strikeout, so to speak. There's another at bat that they can come up to. Yeah.
Gosh, it's so important to build a good team for you in the practice and outside of the practice, just to help support you and help the day go well when you are practicing in a clinical setting.
Yes.
You have offered a ton of great advice and thoughts for our listeners, but any last advice on mistakes that our listeners can avoid?
Last thing, keep the main thing. And what I mean by that is just be laser focused on your path, on what the end looks like, on the journey. I one time met a doctor who came up to me after I got done speaking about, it was kind of more of a reality check for doctors that wanted to sell. And I was trying to give them an education on, hey, great, you want to sell in 2, 3, 4 years. This is what the young generation is looking at. This is how they're going to view your practice. These are the things that excite them. And I kind of equate it to, when somebody comes to your home, a realtor, and you want to sell, and they say, great, focus on a kitchen remodel and maybe a bathroom remodel if you have the budget. So the thing I would say here as a parting gift is keep the main thing, and that is just to be laser focused on the outcome. I had this doctor approach me one time after I got done giving this discussion about, hey, this is what young doctors look for. This is how you're going to sell your practice for top dollar, so to speak, or if you think you are, here's what you need to focus on. Kind of like a realtor might tell you what to remodel in your home versus don't spend money remodeling your master bathroom because no one cares. And so he said, gosh, if I would have just known, the stuff you talked about tonight, if I would have just stayed focused on the dentistry, I wouldn't be working at the age I'm working at right now. I'm kind of already 5 years past where I wanted to be. I invested in my buddy's restaurant. I put some money in my buddy's driving range. I tried to always kind of chase the next thing, and I should have just focused on dentistry, invested into my practice. And I think the number one investment you can make is in yourself. If you going to the CE courses, investing in the technology, investing in really good team members is only going to improve the value of the number one asset you have, which is your dental practice.
Jonathan, thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate it. If our listeners would like to connect with you, what's the best way?
I'm on, probably the best way is Instagram, to be honest with you. I'm on there as Start Your Practice. Instagram, I'm on there. I'm on Facebook as well. Jonathan Miller. It's pretty easy to find me, but that would be the best way. Slide into my DMs, whatever works.
I love it. Slide into Jonathan's DMs for some help, starting your practice, buying a startup, and look for Ignite DDS's help along the way as well, too. Thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Dental Fuel. If you would like to connect with Jonathan, you can find him on Instagram at startyour_practice. Jonathan is also leading the Ignite DDS Dental Business Mastermind that's starting this month. This course will provide you the steps that you need to build the practice of your dreams. You gotta check it out. Check out the show notes for more information. If you'd like to connect with Ignite DDS, you can find Ignite on Instagram at Ignite DDS. And you can find me on Instagram at tsmaestas.dds. We will be back next week with another episode.